So you made 1.5 million your first year in commissions, and now you started flipping houses, and then now you transition from flipping houses to developing.
Yeah.
Why development?
So when I sold all of those condos in 2019, I was excited. I made 1.5. I never made $1 million in my life before. I'm like, yo, which car am I gonna get? Is it the Wraith? Is it the Cully? Is it like, you know what I'm saying?
You ready to
I'm
go
excited.
crazy?
Then I realized how much money my mentor, the developer, made. And I'm like, word. Okay, I made 1.5, but you probably made like 15 mil. You know what I'm saying? Off of those 4 sites. I'm like, and it's crazy. It's like when you see like these rappers, or not rappers, ball players, they're getting max contracts for 150 mil.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, that's a big bag.
Yeah.
How much is the owner making
I want to get into it.
to be able to afford that? You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, for me, transitioning from real estate sales to development, it was like, I didn't want to be the plug. I wanted to be the outlet.
Didn't want to be the plug. You wanted to be the outlet.
I want people to go direct to the source, to me. You know what I'm saying? And now I have a team of 10 agents, and they're selling, you know, my projects, and they're doing still the traditional, you know, the transactions with the residential and commercial. You know, so I have a team. I manage them along with, you know, managing my development site as well, right? So, you know, I saw that the amount of money that was there, and it was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about anything else. How do I get to the development game? I got to buy some land? All right, no problem.
So
Let's buy it.
So let's talk about that. What was your steps of getting into the development game?
So first is, I think, is key is like, you know, there's no school for this. You know, so it's like, it's most developers, especially in Canada, they've been in the game 50, 60, 70 years. That's generation to generation passed down.
Yeah.
And it's old white men predominantly. You know what I mean? There's a handful of black developers in Canada. You just met 2 of them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, it's gatekeeped. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very hard to get in.
Yeah.
Right? So the first thing is having the information, right? So if you have, you know, a mentor, you have, you know, the blueprint, you know what I mean, in terms of how to get into the game, that's going to be, you know, one very, very important thing. And then secondly, it's actually just taking the risk, you know what I'm saying? And just taking that calculator risk, you know what I mean? Jumping out the window and be like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Like, I sold all my properties, you know, I'm renting right now, and I'm all in on my development sites. Right now we're building like 100 units in Niagara Falls. Like I was telling you,
Yeah.
this project's gonna be, you know, $7.5 million in my pocket in the next 2 years, right? But it's like a lot of people don't want to wait 3 years for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
it's slow money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when people are transitioning from making, you know, money every month, it's different. You know, you
Right.
got to be able to survive
Right.
for 3 years without getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And now when you get that check, it's going to be healthy,
Right.
right? But you have to be able to survive, you know, and be able to carry the land, carry the property, you know, pay for the architect, pay for the planner, pay for all of these things, you know, in order to be able to kind of get into the space. So it's one of those things where it's very easy to lose your shirt, but, you know, you got to be all in.
So you sold all your real estate,
Yes.
took all your proceeds, and
Yes.
started buying up these lands,
Lands, 100%.
and now developing them to 100 units. Like, what's your numbers on this? Because you said you're about to make $7 million. So,
Yeah,
like, how
sure.
much you pay for the land and how much is the construction?
So the land, I bought 3 houses. The land is going to cost me 1.94.
So tell me the story, because you told us the story offline.
Oh, yeah, for
tell
sure.
Us, tell us the
Let's
story
rewind.
about this.
So for me, when you're buying land in Canada, you know, if you're just buying vacant land, just a piece of land, you know, you're putting anywhere from, you know, 30% down to 50% down, right? So if you're buying something for $2 million, you got to have a mill live, right? And that's just to get the land. You haven't done any work yet.
Yeah.
You haven't got architects, you haven't got planners, you haven't done any studies, wind study, traffic study. Like, you haven't done anything yet. You know what I'm saying? That's just you get in the door. So for me, one cheat code that I found is if you buy houses that are in correct zoned neighborhoods with high density, because I want density, right? That's how you make money, on density. It's economies of scale.
Yeah.
I'm buying these houses on large lots, right? So the first house I got was half an acre. Knocked on next door, half an acre. You know what I'm saying? Gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. They've been there since the 70s. They were planning on dying in that house. I paid them, it was like 150K over market value for the house. You know what I'm saying? I gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. I sat down at their kitchen table. I said, listen, I'm going to help you guys. You know what I'm saying? No one is going to give you this money for your house besides me, because I know what I can make on this site. I went next door. I got the third house. You know what I'm saying? Now I have a site. But instead of paying, 50% down on the land, I'm able to put anywhere from 5 to 20% down on these properties, which is going to, limit the amount of capital that I actually have to invest, in the front round. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's very capital intensive. You could spend $250 to $500,000 on a development site easily. You know what I'm saying? I got a bill from an architect the other day. It was like $300,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be liquid. If you're not liquid, you'll lose your shirt. You know what I'm saying? And the banks are going to want to see as well, all right, how much money does this guy have into the deal? Because they're only going to lend you a certain amount, right? So you have to, you gotta have bread, bro. Like, so that's why I'm saying, like, I had to liquidate everything. You know what I'm saying? I sold my cars, sold my houses. I got a little Tesla. I'm chilling right now, bro. 3 years, I'm gonna pop out differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see me on a PJ, if you see me on a PJ, you see me, hopping out the Cully. Like, right now, I'm in a growth phase. I'm in grind mode right now. So I'm not into like, crazy overhead expenses. Sure, I can get a Cullinan right now, but do I want to? No. You know what I mean? It's gonna cost me $6-7 a month. That money, I'm making 10x. So right now on my site, I have in like 750K. I'm gonna make 7.5 mil.
So I don't want this to go over people's head. So you got 3 houses.
3 houses.
All next door. You check the zoning.
Yes.
And that's a gem, right? When you're buying property, you should always check the zoning on what you can build on.
100%.
Right? Because you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't even do that.
The people that I bought it from, they had no clue they were sitting on a gold mine. I paid one of the houses, I paid like 750K. They could have told me $1 million, I would have gave them $1 million. Because I knew what I could do. It was zoned high density. But people, they've been there 30 years. They don't care about development.
Nah,
they you know what I'm saying? They don't know. They never thought to check. They're just living day to day. They've been there since the 70s.
So you got these 3 houses. They all next to each other. You paid what you paid. How much is it going to cost you to build this 100 units now?
So the development cost is going to be, we're looking about at least 25 mil.
25 million.
Yeah, in the construction costs, yeah.
Jesus. 25 million. Yeah. Wow. All right. So you in this for what? 20, let's call it 27 million. Right? With acquisition and construction. And what's your value, your after construction value once everything is done?
So the way I look at it for me is like when I do my pro formas, once the project is done, I'm gonna make 7.5 million myself.
Okay.
Right. If I was gonna keep it as an apartment building, that's another play as well. But as I was telling you before, like I'm in a growth phase right now, so I want to get that $7.5 million, and I want to buy 10 sites.
So so you want to flip the entire 100 units to one multifamily investor, basically?
No, I'm selling them individually as condos.
Ah, okay. The plot thickens.
That's it, right? And now when I'm selling them,
you're gonna make the commission as the realtor.
My team is 100%.
Yeah.
But not only that, the deposits that you're using as well is owner's equity. So when the banks come and see I have all these deposits, I sold all these units, it's less money I have to put in the deal as well. If I was building apartments, it would actually be more capital intensive than the condos, right? Because there's no sales, right? So if I was building apartments, this play, I could have actually made these 100 apartment units, and I would probably have made $500,000 a year for the rest of my life. Or I can get $7.5 million in 3 years and take the quantum leap and go crazy. And that's what
and repeat the process.
Rinse and repeat. So once I get that 7.5, 100%, I want to do the retirement homes. I want to do apartments. I want to do, more condos, and you know what I'm saying? But for this first project of mine, 100%. Like that's it. I need to get the big check, and then I can kind of diversify from there.
Okay. How are you coming up with this $25 million for construction? Where are you getting the money for that?
So how it works, and it's crazy, right? So the land that I purchased, I said for 1.94. Once you start doing studies and everything like that with the city, I'm getting higher density than is actually permitted because I'm on a main road. So they're gonna actually allow me to push the density up, right?
Hold on, sorry. What is density?
Density is pretty much the amount of doors you could put on on a site. Essentially, right? On one site, exactly.
Right.
So right now it's zoned for like 100 units per hectare, right? So I could get technically 30 units, right? I just told you I'm getting like 100, right? So I've been going back and forth with the city, trying to push some plans with them and, just kind of connecting with the right people there in terms of how to increase my density. So now that I got 100 units, the city's like, yo, your site plan approved for 100 units. My site isn't worth $2 million anymore.
Right.
Just might be doing that planning with the city. Now it's worth like 6.
Right. Because
in a year.
Yeah.
The land value went from $2 million to $6 million because along the way I was able to, increase the density and put more, quote unquote doors on this land. So now if I were to sell this land, I'm selling a piece of land that could build 100 doors.
So after they do that and tell you that whatever, you're approved for, then you can still make money in that process.
So what I could do, so one play is I did the work.
Yeah.
I could technically just sell the land.
Right, as is.
Right away. I could sell it to another developer and I would be able to make 3-4 mil.
Okay. Now
just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're gonna take it, they're gonna build it so that now they can make more money, right? So it's just like, all right, I've already done the majority of the work.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, I'll take an extra 2 years, I'll build it, and now from there, the rest is history. So now when you're asking me about, how do we get the 25 mil, the land value is now gone up. So right now it's not a $2 million piece of land anymore. Now it's a $6 million piece of land.
Right.
Right. Now I'm selling 100 condos. It's 20% down. I'm getting people's deposits. You know what I'm saying?
So you selling right now just off of plans?
Off plan,
right
100%.
Okay.
I haven't started sales yet. I'm gonna start sales in the summertime.
Okay.
Right. So yeah. So you're gonna be able to get deposits. So now when you go to get a construction loan, the bank is gonna be like, all right, the property is valued at $6 million, right?
As is.
Now you got 100 sales. So technically you have to sell 75% of your units, in order to qualify for construction financing. So out of the 100 units, I got to sell 75. Pre-sale, right? I got 75 people all giving me anywhere from 80 to 100K. You know what I'm saying? That goes into the lawyer's trust account. So now when I go to get construction financing, they'll lend, some construction lenders are lending anywhere from 75 to 90, 95%. I already got all this money in the deal. You know what I'm saying? The land's worth $6 million. I got a bunch of money in the bank from all my deposits that I sold the units from. They're gonna give me the rest. I'll probably actually get some money back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the construction loan, because of the improvements that I've done to the site already, just by increasing like the zoning. So it was zoned R4, so I could build up to 4 stories. I pushed it up to 7 stories. So now we're doing 7 stories with 2 levels of underground parking. So just by me going back and forth with the city, increasing the density to get more units, now that piece of land isn't worth $2 million anymore. You know what I'm saying? So right away, there's money, there's equity live in the deal. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you could sell it right away, take that money, and now I'm selling a site plan approved site to build 100 units. Or, like I said, I roll up my sleeves, and the next 2 years, we do the hard work ourselves. We get the construction team, we get everything built, and 2 years from now, I'll be able to cash out.
I love it.